We're going to disgrace their memory and erase their memory from existence from the halls of our college because of some stupid person who watches more CNN than they read the Bible, got triggered irrationally, and some mentally ill nutcase who's not even saved got mad at the word savage on a plaque. Are we nuts? We're playing this game and we're trying to accommodate everybody but God. And it's a dangerous game. It's going to destroy these colleges if they're not already too far gone anyway. And evangelicalism needs to stop worrying about what these immoral, degenerate, warped people are upset about and in a tizzy about. And they just need to stand where God stands and let Nate Saint be a hero of the faith. And who cares about the word savage? The word heathen's in the Bible, for crying out loud. Come on. Grow up. Get over yourself. So Wheaton College is a college that it has Southern Baptist ties. They did something very interesting last week, Brother Johnny and Brother Chris, and it has blown my mind. They took down a plaque to a missionary, two missionaries named one of them's named Jim Elliot, and the other is Brother McCully. And these were good people. These were actually Bible-believing Christian people. I believe they were Baptist. I'm not sure. I think they were Baptist. I think they were Southern Baptist guys, but they were good Bible-believing Christian people. And I want to show you this before we get into what happened with them. But this is Jim Elliot. Now they made a couple movies about this guy and this whole incident. I think one of them is called Tip of the Spear, and pretty interesting movie. But these guys went down to Ecuador as missionaries, and this is what Wikipedia says. It says Philip James Elliot was an American Christian missionary, one of 5 people killed during Operation Aqua. I can't say that word. An attempt to evangelize the Honduran people of Ecuador. Now, basically what happened was that these guys went down there. I think it was about 5-6 families went down to Ecuador and tried to reach a certain group of people. There's a picture of them right there trying to, I think that's from the movie. But they went down there trying to reach these people that, were just basic, just what you would call just jungle people, loincloth wearing people. Went down there trying to reach them, had some planes and things like that. And that's the actual picture of them right there. So, tried to reach these guys, all moved down there together. We're all friends. I think somehow they were associated with the Bible Baptist Fellowship. Some of the details are fuzzy to me, but I get the basic idea here. And so they went out there one day and tried to witness to a bunch of these guys and try to be a blessing to them. And the war party came through and killed all 5 of these missionaries. They were martyred for the Lord Jesus Christ. For trying to go down there and preach the gospel. And for those of you who study the Bible, if you go study the crowns in the Bible, you'll realize that there's 5 crowns in the Bible. There's, if I remember correctly, there's the soul winner's crown, there's the pastor's crown, and you have to have a crown to pastor people today, I'll tell you what. And there's a crown of suffering, there's several others, but one of the crowns is a martyr's crown. And, I better be careful with my hand. I don't want to get caught in the Illuminati again. But there's a martyr's crown. And these people, I believe, got the martyr's crown. I mean, they did a great job for God. And a lot of stories written about these people. And these people are heroes of the Christian faith. Jim Elliot and all the crowd that went around him. Here's a picture of him right here. Roger Yonderian, Pete Fleming, Jim Elliot, Nate Saint. That's another one that is a pretty well-known name. And Ed McCully. All were killed. And the famous saying is, he is no fool who gives that which he cannot lose to gain that which he cannot, excuse me, I'm botching the quote here. The famous quote that these men, I believe it was Nate Saint or Jim Elliot that said this, he is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain that which he cannot lose. Tremendous quote. He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain that which he cannot lose. One of the greatest missionary quotes of all time. These people are heroes of the Christian faith. Heroes, celebrities to the Christian faith. And Wheaton College took down a plaque of theirs today because they didn't want to offend the people that killed them. What kind of stupid world do we live in today? This is nonsense. This is from ReparationCharlotte.org. It says, Wheaton College, which has ties to Southern Baptist Convention and other mainstream evangelical denominations, is home to many new woke faces of the evangelical social justice movement, including Ed Stetzer and Esau McCully, who says the English Bible translations are untrustworthy because not enough black people were on the translation team.
What?
That's what he says. It's pretty just stupid. Like there weren't enough black people in 1603 in London, England, and so therefore we can't trust the King James Bible. That's what these people are saying, and they're stupid people. These are stupid people that say this stuff. The article goes on to say that either of these men have been given over to a false gospel would be an understatement. They are the false gospel and the heresy that continues to invade evangelical churches, institutions around the nation at an alarming rate. Now, Wheaton College removing a plaque that's been standing for 72 years, which commemorates the deaths of a group of martyrs, including James Elliot and Ed McCully, two missionaries who are part of a group working to spread the gospel to indigenous peoples in Ecuador, according to The Spectator. Quote, recently, students, faculty, and staff have expressed concern about language on the plaque that is now recognized as offensive. President Philip Ryken said in an email sent out to staff and students last week, specifically the word savage is regarded as pejorative and has been used historically to dehumanize and mistreat indigenous people around the world. So, I mean, that's dumb. Let's look at what the plaque says. He says, dedicated to the glory of God and the loving memory of Edward McCully in the class of 1949 and James Elliot, likewise an outstanding athlete and leader because of the Great Commission. I'm trying to read it. It's a terrible picture they put up there. Jim together with Nathaniel Saint and Roger Yonderin and Peter and to the mission field, willing to do anything, anywhere, regardless of, I can't read that. They chose the jungles of Ecuador inhabited by the Aka Indians to the generation of strangers were killed by these savage Indians after many I can't read the rest of it, but it just says they were killed by these savage Indians.
Yeah, that's the trigger word
That's the trigger word.
Yeah, the article I'm reading, it says just about a dozen students and staff since the school year.
Why is it always just a little handful of nuts?
You know, that kind of offends me.
It does me too. Well, look, let's just be real here.
I mean, was this not a problem until now?
You
got 12 people, they come out, oh, yeah, I guess we should change it. 12 people came. How many, I don't know the attendance at that college, but I'd say it's in the hundreds, maybe thousands, but, 12 people?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's always just a little handful of nuts that are the loudest people on the campus, and they try to accommodate them. Let me tell you guys this, and just if there's anybody out there who's leading anything, you're leading a Sunday school, you're leading a church, you're running a business, you cannot accommodate the crazies. You will sink the entire operation by trying to accommodate the crazies. Mm-hmm. And there always is going to be some fringe outlying nut job who does not, who's lost touch with reality. And they're going to say all kinds of insane things. And you need to cut them loose and let them go. They're going to do that, and it's going to be nuts. But here's the deal. Okay, they said they were killed by these savage Indians. Okay, these people were cannibals. They were killing for a living. They were war parties going around in loincloths with bones in their nose. Mm-hmm. Okay, if that's not a savage, what do you call that?
Right.
I mean, I like the word pagan because that's what they were. They were pagans. Mm-hmm. And pagans don't wear clothes. Like if you can see just a picture here, the Alka Indian guy right there, he's got a big old thing in his ear. These people, by the definition of the word savage, they were savages. Mm-hmm. And they were bloodthirsty people. They were just very violent, and they killed these people. So I'm sorry, these people were murdered. They were savagely killed by Indians. Because these people are trying to reach them to the gospel. Like, they were shoving spears through their body until they went into eternity. And I could describe it all kinds of graphic ways.
And then they ate them.
But
this wasn't a mercy killing.
This was not quick and easy.
No.
This was a horrific, unspeakably horrible thing that was done to these young Christian people. And you're triggered by the word savage? Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you why you're triggered by the word savage. Because you are a moron. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you why you're triggered by the word savage is because you are a savage. You are triggered by the word savage because you are a degenerate, unsaved heathen. And you are dying and going to hell. That's why that word triggers you. And if you just gloss over the fact that these people were brutally killed, and that doesn't bother you, but a word on a plaque that you have ignored up until 5 minutes ago somehow all of a sudden triggers you, and you just, I got to go see a human resource counselor, and I got to go talk. That bothers me. Okay, I'm going to tell you something about you. You are immoral. You are a wicked human being pretending that you're righteous. You are feigning righteousness. Because you are a degenerate soul that is dying and going to hell. You have no bearing on truth. You are ungodly. You are not saved. You are a degenerate person who has lost touch with reality. That's what you are. And for the people in charge at Wheaton College, for you guys to take that down, and he's got the president's name right here. It says Philip Ryken. He said in an email, here, let's just read it again. Recently, this is an email he put out to everybody, okay? Recently, students, faculty, and staff have expressed concern about language on the plaque that is now recognized as offensive. President Philip Ryken said in an email sent out to staff and students last week. Specifically, the word savage is regarded as pejorative and has been used historically to dehumanize and mistreat indigenous peoples around the world. Okay, Philip Ryken needs to be fired.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be in the unemployment line yesterday. And these people better thank God that I was not the president of that college, because we'd have had a mass exodus from that college.
Yes.
I would have had no tolerance for that, okay? Matter of fact, if the word savage bothers you, let's look up the word heathen in the Bible. I mean, Leviticus 25:44. Both thy bondsmen and thy bondsmaids which thou shalt have shall be of the heathen that are round about. Okay, so it talks about, and I will scatter you among the heathen. Okay, heathen through the Bible. 2 Kings 17:11. There burnt incense in all the high places, as did the heathen, whom the Lord carried away before them. Okay, are you going to get that out of the Bible too? Mm-hmm. You're going to erase the word heathen from the Bible?
Well, they have with the other versions. They have.
They sure have. And I think you're right, Brother John. I think that's the motive behind all these new Bible versions that are out there, is because there's people out there, first of all, trying to make a buck off a Bible, second of all, trying to manipulate who they think God is with these false Bible versions. Mm-hmm. Well, let's look at the last mention of heathen in the Bible. Okay, Galatians 1:16 says, to reveal his son in me that I might preach him among the heathen. Immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood. I mean, that seems a little politically incorrect, doesn't it, Paul? That I might preach him among the heathen. Well, why didn't Paul just say that I might go preach him amongst the indigenous peoples?
Yeah.
The First Nations.
Yeah, why didn't go preach him amongst the third world nations? Why you gotta say heathen? Why have to use that word? That's a troublesome word. Why you gotta say that? Why you gotta be derogatory like that, Paul? That's not, I mean, that kind of, how do you sleep at night, Paul? They just can't help it. They just live that way. It's a little different than you. Why are you judging, Paul? I can just see this crowd saying this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the NIV version of that right there.
Galatians 1:16?
8:38. Sorry. Okay. 3:8 right there.
Yeah.
Scripture foresaw that God would justify the Gentiles by faith. Notice they change it from heathen to Gentiles. That's more proper. And announce the gospel in advance to Abraham. All nations will be blessed through you. So, I mean, the NIV's, it's pretty, it's an older version. It's not the newest one, obviously, but they changed it right
You're
there.
Exactly right.
It's more respectful.
Yeah, you don't want to call people heathens. No. You want to call them Gentiles.
Well, that's what I'm seeing in this. This says the college intends to continue honoring the missionaries with wording that is respectful and maintains the spirit in which the plaque was given. I would say if them guys are alive today, they're not going to go, look, guys, you need to respect these people. Even though they brutally murdered us, respect them. Don't call them that.
Well, I mean, these guys went out there, and I've not read their diaries, but I imagine their diary probably says something real similar to these people. Yeah. But they were out there living in the jungles trying to reach them with the gospel. I mean, are you going to act like this was some derogatory? They loved these people that killed them. Mm-hmm. These are heroes of the Christian faith, and we're gonna disgrace their memory and erase their memory from existence from the halls of our college because of some stupid person who watches more CNN than they read the Bible, got triggered irrationally, and some mentally ill nutcase who's not even saved got mad at a word savage on a plaque. Are we nuts? Mm-hmm. It's one thing for the world to be crazy, but when these supposed evangelical colleges go crazy too, we got problems, man.
Yeah. Well, I think here's the scenario that went down, because it talks about 2 college students applauded the decision to take the plaque down.
Yeah.
These 2 college students walked over, read that plaque, and go, I don't like that word savage in there. Let's go tell somebody else. So they get the other 5 people involved. Then they go tell a teacher. That's where the doesing comes from.
Yeah.
It's not people like, oh yeah, you're right. That does. Nobody was even aware of it.
Yeah.
How many people actually read that plaque? Not, just
Not
saying.
many.
It's almost like, mission letters at church. How many people really read them?
They don't read
Are
mine.
you reading them out there, people? So it's the same thing as that. They just go, okay, yeah, that troubles me. One student does that. So really it was probably 1 or 2 that really was offended by it and says, we need to change it to be, it needs to be more sensitive. That's what they're talking about. It needs to be reworded to be more sensitive.
Sure. Well, and it kind of goes back to the little devotion we did at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The Father did not accommodate the carnality of the prodigal son. He kept it going.
Mm-hmm.
Killed the fatted calf. It was a cow farm, and the prodigal son said, I want to go live on a pig farm. Well, did the father bring in a bunch of pigs to accommodate and get rid of all the fatted calves? Because of, I just don't like cows. I think cows are offensive. I prefer pigs. Did the father slaughter all the cows, get rid of all the cows so he could accommodate the kid who liked pigs? I mean, we're playing this game and we're trying to accommodate everybody but God.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a dangerous game. It's going to destroy these colleges if they're not already too far gone anyway. And evangelicalism needs to stop worrying about what these immoral, degenerate, warped people are upset about and in a tizzy about. And they just need to stand where God stands and let Nate Saint be a hero of the faith. And who cares about the word savage? The word heathen's in the Bible, for crying out loud. Come on. Mm-hmm. Grow up, get over yourself, and get your these people are immoral.
These are immoral. For you to be focusing on this versus learn something in college is what you're there for to do, not sit here and correct everything.
They don't learn in college.
No, you get indoctrinated in college. You don't learn anything in college.
Right.
Lots of ways anyway. So let me read this last paragraph of this article. It says, I agree with this. If Wheaton were honest, biblically speaking, these murderers would be described as far worse than savage.
Mm-hmm.
They would be described as lost idolaters, devoid of conscience, and haters of God and God's people, enemies of the church and enemies of God, who have perverted the grace of God beyond all comparison. Instead, Wheaton College coddles them and treats them like victims, like any good woke institution should do.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. Let me tell you this though. Okay, here's the deal. The man, one of the men who killed, I believe it was Nate Saint. Here we go. This is actually one of the men that killed him, and he got saved, became a Christian. And let's see here. I'm gonna make sure I get the names right. So I'm gonna pull up this article here before we go any farther. But one of the men that killed Nate Saint got saved and actually killed Jim Elliot. Christianity Today, first Christian convert in tribe that killed Jim Elliot and 4 of the missionaries dies. And so this was a story about how this man, died. But these men gave their lives and died for the cause of Christ to try to reach these people. These are heroes of the Christian faith. I want my kids to know these people's names more than I want them to know LeBron James. Mm-hmm. I mean, LeBron James is not a hero. LeBron James is a 6'7" goofball who thinks he runs the world, and he doesn't. He's not a hero. Lady Gaga's not a hero. Cardi B's not a hero. These are heroes. These are men of God, and their wives are heroes too. These are wonderful Christian heroes of the faith. These are champions of the faith. Brother Roger, Pete, Jim, Nate, and Ed all gave their lives for the cause of Jesus Christ. And if you don't respect their memory enough to go beyond the word savage, and you call for their memory to be erased from the halls of a college because you don't like that word, then I'm sorry, I don't take you seriously. I don't think you're saved. I think you are a warped human being, and I really have no respect for you. Brother Johnny, do you have anything nice to say so that it's not looking like I'm just a big hater? Sing the Barney the Dinosaur song.
The dinosaur song.
Though, okay, I'm not done. Hang on. Okay, these people were killed. They were martyred for Jesus.
Yes.
There's so much I could say, Brother Johnny. Say something nice real fast.
Well, see, let's keep going on this a little bit. The same thing that happens with this, it's kind of weird in this situation because usually the world goes and then Christians follow. But what's happened is the Christians have followed with the Bible translations of moving away from certain wording. And the world has really caught up with that now. And eventually the message of Jim Elliot and what that plaque stands for will be gone.
Yeah.
You'll, just like the Bible, you'll translate it so much that the original message is gone. It's the same thing, the game you play as a kid where you pass a message down along.
Telephone
Eventually it's gone. The real message is gone.
Yeah, and today if you go up to the average public school student and say, "Hey, tell me about Jim Elliot," they don't know who you're talking about.
They have no idea.
Tell me about Charles Spurgeon. They don't know. You ask them tell me about George Washington. They don't even know who that is. Okay, and this isn't really, if you can't see the spirituality behind this, the demonic nature of this. These men, what they gave their lives to was a heroic thing that should be celebrated by all Christian people forever.
Right.
But these woke, degenerate monsters are trying to disgrace and take away what these men did. And I want to tell you that they can get mad all they want to, but the judgment seat of Christ is going to be pretty nice to these guys, if I do say so myself. And guys, I'm just telling you right now, we cannot play this perpetual accommodating the woke crowd. We can't do it. These people will destroy the world if they get what they want. These people are numbskulls. They are degenerate people. They are idolaters. They are not virtuous. They're not moral. They feign morality. That's why they get outraged. I can't believe you had said that. And they're virtue signaling is what the word is. Okay, they are acting like they are virtuous when really they are the biggest haters in the society today. These are the degenerates of degeneracy. These are the bottom of the barrel people. These people are not saved. They are not virtuous. They are not moral. They are not worth giving your time to.
Nope.
They are feigning virtue when they have none. And I want everybody to hear me say that.
Yes.
You can't reason with these people.
No.
They're irrational. The only thing you can do is rebuke them and send them down the road. If this Bible college teacher, this man who ran this college, his name right here escapes me again, Philip Ryken. If Philip Ryken was a spirit-filled Christian man who had conviction, he would have fired those staff members and he would have sent all those kids home. But he's not. He's an Ahab. He is a coward. He does not love God. The Bible says the fear of man bringeth a snare, and he stepped right in that snare. And if he loved God, he would have been like Daniel, and he would have been willing to go to the lion's den to not back down on this issue. He probably would have lost his job. Truth be told,
yeah, would have got around.
I'll tell you, I'd rather lose my job and be right with God than keep my job and my benefits and salary and lose the favor of heaven. I really would. But that would require conviction. The problem is today is that a lot of these Laodicean leaders are nothing more than moral businessmen, just trying to keep the thing afloat, trying to keep the money coming in, and not want to upset the apple cart any. We don't want to bother anybody. A lot of Baptist preachers and missions do that. Well, we don't say anything negative about nothing. You can't say that kind of stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now. When I've gotten on YouTube and I have said things that somebody needs to say, God has blessed me and I've been able to raise more money doing it that way than I was trying to behave.
Amen.
I mean that. I really mean that. And but I'm just telling you right now, guys, we are on the crazy. This world, we are literally on the crazy train to perdition. We are, and these woke people have put the pedal to the floor. And it is time that God's people stand up and say, "No, not here. You're not doing that here. I don't care what you think. You can get mad all you want to. There's the door right there. You can go and aggravate somebody else, but here you're not going to do that. That's not honoring to God." And the modern pragmatist Laodicean leader today doesn't have the conviction to say stuff like that. And that is a troubling thing. So when we come back, we're going to talk about women for a minute, since we're already in trouble, Brother Johnny.
Yeah, might as well keep going.
I'm going to talk to here's what I want to do. I want to talk about women for just a few minutes when we come back. Don't go away. You're going to want to hear this. And I've got a point behind this. There's going to be some Third Adam 3 content I'm going to talk about here in just a minute. But when we come back, we're going to talk about women. Do not go away. God bless you. Hey guys, your friend Spencer here. The Lord has allowed us to get a TeeSpring store, and me and Brother Johnny are drinking some of my wife's famous coffee from this brand new mug from the TeeSpring store. Brother Johnny, how are you doing today?
Doing good, brother.
Well, we've got a lot of great products in our TeeSpring store. Brother Johnny, what is your favorite product that we've ever had from the store?
I think my favorite one is the Doctrine Matters shirt.
Weren't you just wearing a...
What's wrong, man?
Bro, you just were wearing, like... You weren't wearing that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There it is again. You just did that thing. Like,
bro, you're kind of weirding me out right now.
Like that.
Are you needing me to call somebody for you there, brother?
What is happening right now, man? Dude. Rebecca, did you put LSD in my coffee again? I'm getting rid of this junk. Oh, terrible. Oh.